Hey guys, it's Hollywood Studios here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Six Flags. More specifically, where Six Flags is going to be heading in the next 5 years. Obviously, there's been a couple of leadership shakeups in the Six Flags company, most recently, of course, with Salim Bazol taking over as the new CEO of Six Flags. Mike Spanos is out, Salim Bazol is in, and I wonder what kind of changes are they going to make? That's what we're going to be looking at in this video, because it's definitely kind of hard to figure out exactly what direction the company's going in. We didn't really get to see what Mike Spanos' vision was for the company since he was only there for 2 years, and anything he would have made decisions on hasn't happened yet or can't really be told apart from what was from the Jim Reed Anderson era. So it's definitely hard to tell what he had in mind for the company, but we're going to take a look at where Six Flags may be heading in terms of new additions, new parks, etc., under the leadership of Salim Bazol. So first, let's take a look at what the company did in 2020 and 2021, because they were some strange years. 2020, they did not do anything. They had a lot of stuff planned that was announced at the end of 2019, including Jersey Devil Coaster, Aquaman Power Wave, and a few other rides for many different parks. And as far as I know, pretty much nothing opened in 2020. I mean, obviously West Coast Racers opened in 2020, but that's from 2019, and that doesn't really count for the situation. But most of the new for 2020 editions got pushed back into 2021, and as far as I know, there were nothing new for 2021 in terms of parks new additions. Whatever was left over from 2020 was the new edition of 2021. So, of course, Jersey Devil Coaster opened, Six Flags Fiesta Texas's new ride opened, Six Flags New England's new ride opened. Many parks had their new rides open for the 2021 season. There were a couple rides, like Aquaman Power Wave at Six Flags Over Texas, that was pushed back to 2022, but that's because they were adding on to the ride, giving it a turntable for better capacity, which I think is a great idea, but that doesn't really count either, it's just more so of a modification. After that, the 2022 editions were slowly trickled out, and in terms of announcements, and it's very different than what Six Flags used to do. They did clone Jersey Devil for Magic Mountain, which we all saw coming, and that's definitely something that Six Flags would do, and that's not a knock on the company or anything. They're just well known for cloning rides, especially rides that work. Jersey Devil worked, so now it's cloned to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, coming to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, is a very interesting addition, as B&M coasters are never cheap. This is probably one of their cheaper coasters, but regardless, it's not a cheap ride. I'm sure it's between $10 and $15 million, which is not cheap at all, especially for Six Flags. And this ride, I can't tell if it was put together by Jim Reed Anderson's leadership, Mike Spanos' leadership. It's kind of hard to tell, but if it was put together by Mike Spanos' leadership, that's definitely very telling of where he wanted to bring the company, which is higher quality attractions. Other parks still have yet to make any announcements in terms of new rides. Obviously, like I said, Aquaman Power Wave at Six Flags Over Texas, it will be opening in 2022. Six Flags Great Adventure has not announced anything new. There are a few repaints happening in the park, like Bizarro being rethemed and Batman the Ride getting a repaint. There's a few other repaints across the chain, like at Six Flags Magic Mountain, Tatsu just got repainted. But other than that, there's not really anything new going on next year at the Six Flags parks. In terms of new rides, that is. And that leads us into the future. Where is Six Flags going next? Now, I think that Six Flags Qiddiya is definitely very telling of the company. That's a massive project they're undertaking, and I'm not really sure how much money they exactly are spending. I'm not sure how much of it is government funded or externally funded. I'm not really too familiar on the funding situation of Six Flags Qiddiya, but I know Six Flags definitely has a major share in the park, and obviously their name is attached to the park. So I know that park is definitely not going to be cheap, especially with that huge, stupid Falcon's Flight ride. I don't know what they're thinking with that, but that park is very interesting because it's very different than any of their American Six Flags parks, which are not as high quality as what Six Flags Qiddiya is looking to be. That park is looking to be a very high themed, high quality experience. I'm not saying Six Flags parks in America are bad or anything, but they're not known for really, really good theming or anything like that. So that makes me wonder, is Six Flags looking to take more of a Cedar Fair approach to additions, which means higher quality additions taking over high quantity additions? I think that's very possible. Obviously, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger is a B&M coaster, and that's like the smallest B&M coaster they could be building. And if they plan on building more B&M coasters, possibly maybe a 200-foot dive coaster at some of their bigger parks like Great Adventure, Great America, Magic Mountain, those aren't cheap. Those are going to get close to $20 million. Especially if they want to go for breaking records, they're going to have to spend even more money maybe. So if they do plan on making high quality additions, they definitely have to cut back on a lot of their smaller additions, which could mean that smaller parks or more neglected parks like Six Flags St. Louis and Six Flags America may not get as much attention as they would have gotten back before the new ownership, where they would have gotten at least something every year. Now, if you guys haven't seen, there are no more middlemen for the Six Flags company. Now, what that means, essentially in simpler terms, is that Six Flags park presidents report directly to the CEO. There's now no longer someone they need to talk to who then talks to the corporate. For example, John Winkler, the president of Six Flags Great Adventure, now just goes right to the corporate. So what that means is that Six Flags park presidents now have a lot more say in what their park's new additions are going to be. So that could mean that smaller parks might actually be able to get rides that are more well suited for the park, since the park president will know the park better than anyone. And I'm sure that could lead to better additions overall, but I do still think that there's going to be parks that aren't going to get anything sometimes. We've already seen this happen in 2021 with Six Flags Magic Mountain. They had gotten West Coast Racers for 2019, and for 2020, they announced nothing. And obviously that carried over into 2021 since they were closed during all of 2020, but now they're getting a new coaster, so it's fine. But I do think that parks will definitely get off years where they get not even a flat ride. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing this year. I have a feeling that there were a lot of flat rides probably planned to go around the chain that either haven't been announced yet or just aren't going to happen now because of the fact that Salim Bezel and his leadership team may have a different vision for the company, which would of course include changing the way that the company adds rides to their parks. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I think, like I said, it could be good. I just hope that parks that really need coasters like Six Flags St. Louis, Six Flags America, along with a few other smaller parks, really do get the attention they need. Some of these parks have a lot of potential, and I think that potential could definitely be realized if they're planned correctly and rides are added correctly to the right parks, and not just unnecessary additions to parks that don't even need it. But that's about it for this video on where I think Six Flags' new additions are heading in the next couple of years. Of course, no one knows for certain where they're heading, but I think that Six Flags has a pretty bright future full of some really cool new rides coming soon. If you guys enjoyed the video, agreed, disagreed, any comments or concerns, be sure to leave them in the comment section. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another upload. I'm Colin from Hollywood Studios, and I'll see you guys in the next video.